Alright, good morning YouTube, how's it going today? This is Gameciel Gaming, I'm King Kaiju, and we're coming with you a deck profile of Atlantean Mermails. Alright, let's get right into it. So first of all, we play 3 Neptabyss. Opening this up basically means you win, because he's just the #1 playmaker. He sends Dragoons, he adds Dragoons, you just get all your discards and all your plays start off just from this card. Next up we have 2 Dragoons, absolutely necessary. If it were 3, this whole deck would be broken. Still very nice to see. If you have discard methods of discard, it's great, but it's definitely the way you get all your cards to your hand. Great as searcher, definitely needed for the deck. Next we play 2 Infantry and 2 Marksmen. These are your card removal. This one pops face up, this one pops face down. Gets rid of any problems that you might run into, like Mirror Force or the Kaijus that you put on the field. And it's just a great way to get rid of any cards that might get in the way of your OTK. Next up we have the Mermail build. We have 3 Megalo. He's the biggest discard and he's the OTK machine. He's the guy that's killing your opponent, and he's great, like gets rid of all the water monsters in your hand, so you get all their effects and you can just like swing in directly without having to worry about any back row or anything. Next up we have 3 Teus. He's the secondary discard. It's just in case you don't have the cards you need or the combos you need. This way you can still get plays off without actually having to worry too much about bricking too hard. Next up we have 2 Abyssgunde. She just gets monsters out on the field so you can OTK faster. She's not ideal to see, but it's just in case you don't get the perfect hand. Next we have 1 Pike and 1 Lind. These are both for the grind game in case for some reason you don't OTK them immediately. At least this way you have a little way of recovering, even though Mermails aren't so great at recovering. Next up we have 1 Deep Sea Diva. If she was at anything other than 1, I would play her at the max. She's amazing. She gets Neptabyss out quickly, gets your combos off, and then you get free synchros into Coral Dragon and Tatsunoko and stuff like that. Next we have 1 Moulinglacia. It's searchable, it's an amazing effect, and it's very easy to get off. Usually just in your general plays you can get it out very easily. Next up we have 2 Maxx. You need the draw. This deck is all about the draw. And if somebody puts a Maxx challenge on you, you just don't care. You're OTKing, you're going for it. Next up we have the Kaiju engine. We play 1 Kumongous, 2 Radian, and then 3 Gameciel. Gameciel's water, so you can pitch it off of Teus and Megalo, and then all the other effects work too because it is a water monster and it's aqua. Also we play 2 Radian because it's level 7, and we play 1 Kumongous just because we also play 3 Slumber as well. And that way, if you see 3 of 1 Kaiju in one game, you're not completely screwed, because that way you can still have targets for Slumber. Next we go to our spell lineup. We have 1 Upstart Goblin just for consistency. It's basically like playing a 39 card deck. 1 Abyss-scale. You don't really want to ever see this in your hand. You want to search it, so you only ever play 1 just because if you see it, it's a dead hand. 1 1-for-1, just a faster way to get out Neptabyss. 1 Raigeki. In the previous formats this was great, although in this format with stuff like Magic Specters it's not so good. If I only play 2 instant fusions, so if I ever want to put in the 3rd instant fusion, I'd take this out instead. Next up, the 2 instant fusions I was talking about. Makes Norden, then you can get Dragoons, go into Abyss Dweller, then you have more plays, get your search. That's really all it's for. You don't use it for much else. Only 2 because there's only 1 Norden right now. I might bump it up to 3 just because it's nice to see, but it's not the best card. 2 Twin Twisters just to get through back row so they don't stop your plays. And then 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber just to get your Kaiju on the field and to clear the board at the same time. Next up we got the extra deck. 1 Norden just to get Dragoons and make your plays. 1 Tatsunoko and 1 Coral Dragon just because Deep Sea Diva gets Neptabyss and you have a free Tatsunoko, then you can go to a free Coral Dragon if you search like any Sea Serpent. Next we have 1 Dewloren, 1 Gungnir, and 1 Trish. Ice barriers. I've rarely ever made these, but they're still very nice. You get the discard, you get the removal, and then you have banish as well, just for fun. 1 Odd Eyes Meteorburst. I never made this at all playing this deck, so I'm definitely taking out, especially when Trito comes out. This is what I'd be taking out for it. 1 Abysstrite and 1 Bahamut Shark, and then Trito will be here too when it comes out. She just protects your mermails, and then he just helps you go into her. That's the reason why we play those. 2 Abyss Dweller, because in this deck Abyss Dweller is amazing. Increases the attack of everything, it really helps with your OTK machine, and then it stops effects from stuff like Cosmos or anything else like that. 1 number 37 Hope Woven Shark, just helps for the OTK push in case there's anything big on the field that you can't get over. I never really made this, and I was debating about whether I was going to take this or Meteorburst out for Tree Toad, although this one is still pretty good to use. 1 Dracossack, it's a great level 7. I never actually made it with this deck, but it is still good to have because it helps get rid of cards that maybe you didn't have enough materials to get out, and you couldn't just get rid of it easily. 1 Red Eyes Flare Metal, because there's nothing funnier than getting down to like 1,000 life points and going into Flare Metal. And then 1 Mermail Abysskios. If you ever go first, which usually if you lose the coin toss, you're probably going second, and they realize they're playing Mermails, they're going to make you go first at least once. Always good to get like this and then like Abyss Dweller out in the field. It's part of your lock in case you do have to go first. Alright, next we're going into the side deck. We play 2 Electric Virus for machine decks like ABCs or any rogue despots or anything like that that are still around. And of course, Blue Eyes. 2 Ghost Ogre just to get rid of problem cards. This is actually really effective against stuff like Dark Magicians because of Eternal Soul. You can get rid of that and clear the field. 2 Dark Hole just because it's more field removal, and that's always good with this deck. The 3rd Twin Twisters, just in case you're running up against a deck that has a lot of back row, this way you can get rid of it quickly. Only 1 system down just because we don't really worry too much about ABCs. Usually the Raigeki is enough to make it so they're not too big of a problem. Just the 1, I might bump it up more if ABCs become a big deal around here, although right now they're not that big. 1 Swords of Concealing Light, it's not really the best card. Like, I understand like for a lot of decks it's amazing, but for this deck it's not so great because you usually, not much is on the field long enough for this to be very effective. It really only is good against Magic Specters. 1 Abyss Sphere, this is for when they make you go first. So like, say you win game 1 and then you go game 2 and you know they're going to make you go first. Just add this in because this really does help with the grind game. 2 Imperial Iron Wall, just in case ABCs, any Rogue Cosmos, stuff like that. It actually works really well against Lunalights too, surprisingly. And then 3 Full House, just pendulums in general, anything that has face-up spells or traps, just more card removal, just to get stuff out of the way. Alright, and that wraps it up. This is the Mermail deck build. King Kaiju signing out. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and have a good day.